Talk now to Alex Ingram, who's the co-founder of the website My Aging Parent, and I'm sure that anybody who has an elderly relative in a care home's blood will be running cold today when they look at these images. Have you heard of this happening before, care homes being closed in a matter of hours and parents and carers of those in these homes having to find places for them to live?
I mean, care homes have been closed, so I've certainly heard about that, but I've really not heard about it happening at such short notice. And I think more dramatically, it happening when it was dark, when patients were already in pyjamas. The residents, must have been in complete shock, and also the relatives. So it's not necessarily that the closure of the care home is so unique, it's the fact and the way it was actually handled.
This particular care home, there had been concerns flagged up about it in the past, but it passed an inspection in January. How do care homes go downhill so rapidly?
Well, I think a lot is the way it's managed, and the management, strong management in a care home obviously makes everybody work in the same processes in the same ways and makes things happen. So I think the most important thing in a care home is to really understand who's managing it and what qualifications those managers have, and making sure that all those processes are working through the care home. Now, obviously, this hasn't happened in this case, and the CQC has decided it has to be closed. And I think in this case, the residents were in danger, and the relatives were not upset that it was going to be closed. I think it was the manner in which it was handled, which was the main problem.
It's not easy, though, is it, for families to find a place for an ageing relative, even if they have more than a few hours' notice? It's often quite a long process, isn't it, finding a place that's the right fit for your relative?
Absolutely. It's a very difficult process, and we do have a lot of information on our website about choosing the right care home, because you don't want to have to make a snap decision. You're trying to get to a care home that can care for the relative in the right manner, that takes into account what their needs are, what kind of personality they are. You want to make sure it's not going to happen again. So I think it's a really long and difficult decision, choosing the right care home, and it shouldn't have to happen in a matter of hours.
When something like this does happen, when it does go downhill so rapidly, what would your feeling be? Is it perhaps better to leave residents where they are and bring in some kind of emergency management team rather than simply moving the residents out of the building?
I certainly think that, especially when you've got residents with dementia and other issues where actually some kind of familiarity is really important to their way of life. And so I think the way I'm not arguing that care homes shouldn't have been closed, but I'm thinking that really there needed to be some kind of maybe team that could have gone in there and held a position for a few weeks, so things needn't to be done so quickly. And it would give the residents the chance to understand the situation, and for the relatives to help them go with them, look at new care homes, get them familiar to where they were going to be moving to, and things like that. So I think really that the rush of it and the suddenness of it is a real problem.
Anecdotally, I've heard a lot of times people say that when elderly people, especially as you say, people with dementia, people who are ill, are moved late in life, they often don't last a great deal longer, do they? These kind of moves can often really herald the end for people. Has that borne out by evidence that you've found from the people getting in touch with your website?
I haven't really seen evidence of it, but I think it's very logical. I mean, it's a very stressful situation to be in. If you had to move from your house at very short notice in the dark and in your pyjamas, you would be very stressed, you would be very anxious, and these are older, frail people, so it's bound to have a detrimental effect on them.
Okay, Alex Ingram from the website My Aging Parent, thank you very much.
Thank you.